Ever wondered what fuels the electrifying energy of AC/DC's legendary guitarist Angus Young? Discover the high-voltage world of this rock icon as we explore his unique lifestyle. From his signature schoolboy uniform to his rock and roll antics, Angus Young's life is as thrilling as his performances. Buckle up and join us on a backstage pass through the wild, unfiltered essence of one of rock's greatest legends. Formative years and beginnings. This rock star was born on 31st of March 1955 in Glasgow, Scotland, to parents whose role in his life would be significant. Angus grew up in the middle of a working-class area, and therefore he was able to experience the cultural and social setting of post-war Glasgow. William and Margaret Young were his parents, and both of them were very much hard-working and intelligent. William Young was a locksmith by profession, while Margaret was a woman who was mainly responsible for the management of the family. As much as the family was not so affluent, they made sure that they gave their best to support Angus and his siblings. Young family was very much into music, and this was evident from their lifestyle. As a child, Angus was inspired by William's love for music, especially the blues and early rock and roll. This passion for music became a thing that was easily found among the young children. For instance, the first person who influenced Angus in the world of music was his elder brother Malcolm. Malcolm was also a guitarist and was a very big influence to Angus inasmuch as he was his elder brother. Young family relocated to Sydney, Australia in 1963. This was done with an intention of having a better life, better opportunity, and a new beginning. The shift from Glasgow to Sydney was quite radical, but this was perhaps the best thing that ever happened to Angus. The fast and ever-evolving music culture in Sydney exposed him to new concepts and opportunities. This is where Angus, together with Malcolm, began to get involved into the local music scene, which would form their careers. Angus Young's early education may be described as a mix of formal education and budding musical talent. Angus being a student, he went to several schools in Sydney, and one of the schools that he went to was Ashfield Boys High School. He was not a bright student in school, but he had other activities that he engaged in apart from going to school. Music was his main interest, and school was just an added part of his life for the most part. Angus was a young boy with a great attitude in rock and roll, an attitude that was to be his youthful attitude. He was first introduced to bands like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, which made him have a great liking for the genre. The energy and excitement that rock music introduced into him made Angus to dream of being a musician. Angus was more focused in his teenage years about what he wanted to do with music. He began to get serious about guitar, in the beginning with the guidance of Malcolm and the tendencies in rock music. His school years were filled with participation in local gigs and school shows, during which he became enthusiastic and talented. The family of Angus was very supportive of his decision to become a musician. Angus was provided with the necessary background by Malcolm's support and their love for music. The brothers would rehearse together, and this was useful to them in as much as it helped them in determining the kind of music that they were going to produce. This early commitment and the backing of his family enabled Angus to set the foundation for his future in music in rock music. Early life in Sydney, Angus's growing passion for rock music and family encouragement were the key factors that led to the success of AC/DC. These early years of his life as a young man with passion in guitar provided him with the basis and the passion to be a rock legend in the world. The rise of AC/DC. AC/DC was formed in November of 1973, which some consider as the birth of hard rock and roll. It was formed by Angus Young and his elder brother Malcolm Young, who had one dream of revolutionizing the rock music industry. The young brothers were affected by the primitive passion and the rawness of the early rock and roll, and their intention was to emulate it. The formation of the first AC/DC was Angus and Malcolm Young on guitars, Colin Burgess on drums, and Larry Van Crete on bass. The band was able to attract much attention with their lively dancing and fast-moving rock type of music. Their first concerts in Sydney helped them to build up an audience and establish the mood of being a wonderful live performers. The last point in the formation of the band was the release of the first album High Voltage in 1975. This was the first record which could be referred to as rock and which presented the style of the band. It was first launched in Australia alone, but it paved way for their success in the future years. The band's energetic and strong music began to attract the attention of the record companies and the music lovers. Another important point that can be mentioned is the change of the vocalist in 1974 and the appearance of Bon Scott. Scott was a good front man, and his voice complemented the music of the band, and this made them gain popularity. His collaboration with the Young Brothers was instrumental in defining the band's development and output, and consequently the album TNT in 1975. Therefore, with the growth of popularity of AC/DC, the process of forming the image and style of the band also progressed. They were looked at as high-octane rock and roll in terms of appearance and the music they produced. For instance, Angus Young used the persona of the band through his dancing. The schoolboy outfit, which consisted of a blazer, shorts, and a cap, became associated with rock music. This was not just a gimmick, but a real representation of his energy and the rebelliousness of the youth. Their music was simple and unadulterated, but it was hard rock music that was common and exciting at the same time. This was evident through the Young Brothers' guitar riffs and Angus's stage antics and movements. One of the most important aspects of AC/DC concerts, Angus's stage performance in the form of dancing and duck-walking, became well known. The building of the AC/DC's image was very much linked with their concerts. Their concerts were full of energy and loud, so many people attended them, and they became one of the best live bands in the world. This is because one of the major reasons for the success of the band was Angus's performance style, which included rather chaotic dancing and interacting with the audience. Over time, the band also embraced the humor of the hard rock image, and their albums and posters represented their rebellion. It was also possible for the band to maintain the image while at the same time adapting with the ever-changing music industry, hence making them to be icons of rock music. Thus, the role played by Angus Young in the formation of the band's image was critical for AC/DC to become a phenomenon that would forever change the history of rock music, personal lifestyle, and habits. The everyday life of Angus Young is an example of hard-working and commitment to the craft and the band's standards. Angus is a high-profile individual, but he is very disciplined and focused in his daily life, and this is because he follows a number of routines that help him in his day-to-day activities, both in his personal life and at work. Angus Young's daily schedule can be described as rather tight, and it usually begins in the morning. He appreciates orderliness in his schedule that assists him in managing many tasks he has at his disposal. Most of the mornings are spent alone and involve a healthy workout and a healthy breakfast to start his day. Angus has always been a man who believed in having a purpose to wake up in the morning and go through the day. This is especially so when preparing for a tour or a recording session where the routine of the band becomes even more hectic. He has daily practice sessions that take several hours of his time to practice on the guitar. This commitment to practice is indicative of his work ethic. Angus also understands that being perfect and rehearsing hard are essential for putting up a great show that AC/DC is famous for. His dedication towards practice makes him be always prepared to face the challenges that come with live shows and recording. Another aspect of performance preparation is the rehearsals with the band on a regular basis. These sessions are important to coordinate with other band members and improve their set lists. Angus's attitude to the rehearsals is very practical. He gets involved in every detail of the performance, including the guitar solos and stage positioning. This collaborative spirit is the key to AC/DC success, since it helps to create unity and consistency within the group. Angus also takes care of the paperwork that comes with his career with a lot of accuracy. This includes liaising with managers, handling matters concerning promotions, and organizing for future tours. Meticulous planning and administrative ability is very important to the coordination of the band's affairs, including transportation, promotion, and other matters. It is therefore evident that Angus Young's lifestyle, particularly inasmuch as health and fitness, is key to his longevity and performance. Staying fit physically is very important for an individual who performs the energetic dance moves that are associated with AC/DC. Angus has always been aware of the fact that he needs to exercise to be able to meet the physical exertion that comes with being a rock musician. To meet the challenging schedules of touring and performing, Angus includes different fitness activities in his lifestyle. Aerobic exercises like running or cycling are part of his routine exercise regime. These activities assist him in developing endurance and sustaining the energy level that is needed for his stage performances. Angus also performs strength training exercises so that he would be fit and not prone to injuries during his performances. Angus has a great concern with diet as a component of his lifestyle. He has a balanced diet because the energy he requires to go through his tight schedule is provided by the foods he eats. This includes the proteins, fats, and carbohydrates that he takes to power his performances and aid in his recovery. Angus's diet is regulated in a way that will enable him maintain his health and energy levels, especially during tours and recording sessions. It is also evident from the commitment that Angus Young has to health and fitness, and this is why he is still able to perform at the highest level many years after he joined the industry. His physical fitness plays a major role in his performance, and he is able to give performances of the same energy and passion as he did in his initial years. This commitment to preserving his health has not only allowed him to extend his career, but it has also served as a role model for other musicians as to the significance of health. Apart from his music career, Angus Young has other interests and activities that are worth knowing about him apart from his music career. Angus has many interests, but one of the most memorable is the love for antique automobiles. He has had a lifelong passion for cars, especially for the American cars of the 1960s and 1970s muscle cars. This interest in the classic cars is not merely a pastime, but a part and parcel of his life. He also gets to spend a lot of time working on his collection, fixing them, and learning more about the mechanics of these cars. This hobby is indicative of his love for detail and fine workmanship, which is similar to his attitude to music. Football, soccer, is another interest of Angus. Angus has always been a fan of the sport and likes to watch games and support the teams he likes. This is a way of him being involved with football in a way that is relaxing and allows him to enjoy a part of popular culture that he would not normally have access to. It also gives him a balanced break from the high energy that is required in his music industry. It is also important to note that Angus Young's interests are reflected in his lifestyle and career in a rather concealed manner. These two hobbies of his, classic car and football, give him a way of handling stress and also give him some normalcy despite his busy life. These hobbies also help him in his personal health, so that he is able to come back to his music refreshed and ready to create. Philanthropy is a very important part of Angus Young's personal and professional life. He has been engaged in different charitable events and has engaged himself in supporting different causes that he believes in. One of his major charitable organizations is the Australian Children's Music Foundation, ACMF. The foundation aims at offering music lessons to the needy children so that they can be able to express themselves as well as develop. ACMF is an organization that aims at using music to change people's lives, and this is why Angus supports it. Other than his contribution to ACMF, Angus Young has also given support to other causes such as cancer research as well as other local charities. His contribution is not only monetary, but he has also given his time to perform in benefit concerts and events for these causes. Charitable activities have also helped in improving the image of Angus in the public domain, since he has been seen as a person who has a lot of concern for needy individuals in society. This kind of charitable work has received appreciation from the fans and counterparts, which enhances the image of a rock legend who is also a caring person. Angus derives a lot of satisfaction from his philanthropic endeavors. Engaging in meaningful causes motivates him to make a difference in the world while fulfilling his duties in his high-powered job. His involvement in charity work shows that he wants to be a role model, which shows that success should be used to help others. Relationships and family life. Family life is an important aspect in Angus Young's personal and professional life. He has been in marriage with his wife Ellen for more than 30 years now, since they tied the knot in 1980. The couple has been in a relationship and settled when Angus advanced in his career in the society. Ellen is a very reserved woman, and she has been very helpful in providing the much-needed equilibrium to Angus's life. They have 2 children, a son named Ross and a daughter, Kara. Family is an important aspect in Angus's life, and he is said to have been a good husband and a father. Angus also loves his family a lot and tries to spend as much time as he can with his family despite his working timetable. He is also very devoted to his family as he attempts to include them in his life. For example, he may decide to take a number of months off the road in order to be with his family, so that they too can also be a significant aspect of his life. Interpersonal relationships are evident in Angus's life and more so in his career. His family provides him with support and affection that is necessary to cope with the pressure that comes with being a rock star. Ellen and their children's love and support compel Angus to work hard and overcome the challenges of the music business. The importance of interpersonal relationships is evident in the fact that the appearance of his family is an indication of the same. It is not very possible to balance between work and personal life, and in this area Angus Young has been very considerate. The demands of touring, recording, and performing on stage are not easy, but Angus has found how to balance his professional and personal life. This balance is one of the areas that Angus has learned to manage through the following approaches. First, clear separation of professional and personal life. He ensures that the time with the family is well protected, and he employs this as a way of getting away from the public space. Angus is very selective with the events that he attends, and the activities he does are mostly those he is interested in and those that would put food on the table. The other factor that Angus has incorporated in his approach to handling work and family life is privacy management. He is rather famous, but he does not seek the spotlight in other spheres of his life and activity. Angus continues to have his family life off the limelight and does not go overboard with the media, hence reducing the influence of the public domain in his life. This discretion helps him to ensure that his family does not feature in the media and leads a fairly healthy and normal life. Moreover, social support is also employed by Angus to address the pressures that are associated with fame, such as his wife and friends. They are also very protective and ensure that he does not get lost in the fame that comes with success, legacy, and impact. Therefore, it is possible to state that Angus Young has left an enormous and eternal contribution to rock music and the culture. Angus Young is one of the members of AC/DC, and his style and performance has greatly contributed to the development of the future of the genre. His schoolboy suit and his energetic performance on the stage was a representation of rock and roll and influenced many musicians and the visual and performing art of rock music. His contribution to music is well seen through the discography of AC/DC, which includes songs like Highway to Hell, Back in Black, among others. These songs not only defined the rock genre, but also reinvented the guitar playing. That is why it is possible to state that Angus's guitar riffs and solos are technical in the best sense of the word, and he has inspired generations of guitar players, which makes him a pioneer of the genre. The lifestyle and persona of Angus Young are still visible in the die-hard fans and the numerous musicians who consider him as their inspiration. His commitment to energetic shows and his attitude have been setting the rules for the rock performers as to how individuality and sincerity can create a musical trend. Thus, it can be stated that Angus Young's lifestyle has been one of the main reasons he has been able to sustain his career in rock music for such a long time. This schedule, the need to practice, and physical training have made him fit the performance level that fans expect from AC/DC. This has made him to have a long career span of several decades in the music industry and is still relevant up to this date. In this respect, Angus has seen it all and has watched AC/DC grow into one of the most legendary rock bands of all time. Not only have they set the tone for the band's sound, but also have set the standards for rock shows all over the world. The fourth factor that has enabled Angus to stay relevant is flexibility, while at the same time protecting the band's integrity and its musical direction. As we wrap up our look at Angus Young's electrifying lifestyle, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more rock legend stories. Click on the video popping up on your screen for more.